Hey everyone. Hey everyone. I'm back again after the cool cuss out. If people are still here, this is the dark again. I'm Welch's. Well, I'm Welch Concannon, and this is Welch's thinking. And this is the dark, and I'm going off the dome. It's not gonna be, you know, my normal, my normal, you know, editing, prepared speeches, and all this extra stuff, and you know, photos and stuff like that. Now, if you were to see something flash up on the screen or something like that, hey, I'm random. That's what happens. It is what it is. But today, or tonight, you could say, I am going to talk about the other controversial topic. And I know I'm kind of late to the game because I needed some time away from YouTube and all that stuff. But the Grammys. Yes, the Grammys, the Grammys, the Grammys. And the ridiculous, my God, just, it was the other thing that was like really getting on my nerves. It was all the Grammy talk surrounding Kendrick and just hip hop in general. Just the constant crying. And so let's get into it, all right? I'm gonna right off the top get into everybody, the people who said that GNX didn't deserve a trophy. First off, it did. But just like GNX deserved a trophy, I also thought that Chromacopia was amazing. Was one of Tyler the Creator's best albums that he put forth. Even though I saw a lot of people talking crap about it. Again, I'm a music fan first, and I didn't like that. I thought that was real. I didn't like the talk behind about his work on, Cropia. I mean, again, I respect people's opinions. I just didn't care for shitting on his work, man. Like, it was unnecessary. Like, just say you don't understand it. If you don't understand the, like you don't understand his music, that's fair. It's not my cup of tea. That's fair. And if you can't find the words, that's fine too. When people start to go into these long diatribes on things they don't understand, that's when I have a problem. And when you try to make sense to something that doesn't make sense to you, that's a problem. Because you don't understand it. So why the hell are you trying to... I feel like that's when it became an issue for me. Where everybody was just like, oh, I want either the Clips or I want Kendrick to win. They left out Chromacopia because they legit didn't understand Tyler. Oh, and then they really started writing him out because of his past, via, his tweets, things like that. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And I get it, but that shouldn't negate the work that he did either. So that he put in with Chromacopia. But Chromacopia, the theme, it was the cohesion on the album was insane. I thought what I thought was very, really amazing about that album was the fact that he didn't copy Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. He was influenced, and he was influenced by that album. There's a difference. And there's people who will literally copy. He did it his way, knowing like I'm totally, utterly influenced by a man I've watched, around my neck of the woods. And we all came up together, and I respect this guy, and it's very beautiful to see this flower, the flowering of each of these men from a coast I'm not even from, you know, and to see that, and to see that come across, that is the highest form of flattery. To see somebody be influenced and doing it his way, his sonics, his way. He didn't, oh my God, I'm gonna sound just like Kendrick. He didn't do that. And I think that was what was beautiful about Chromacopia. It was still Tyler, you know, down to his theatrics and his outrageousness and everything. But it was very much more serious and just absolutely incredible album. And I implore people to listen to it more, especially production-wise, because he is very much an avant-garde producer, which I resonate with, and that speaks to a person who listens to more than just hip-hop. He doesn't stay in a certain wheelhouse. He listens to everything, which is very much me. That's why I always say I'm a music fan first. I don't listen to hip-hop every day. And again, you know, I haven't said this on my channel yet, but my content's not gonna all be Kendrick. I am at the moment trying to catch up. I'm playing catch up on everything. I have so much things I need to talk about, and Kendrick right now is the thing I'm trying to catch up on, because there's so many think pieces that I have that I haven't fully, you know, put out yet, and I'm getting there. But that's gonna change. I'm not gonna be all about Kendrick. There's so many other things I have, so many other topics that I'm working on, and it's not gonna be all about Kendrick. This is not a Kendrick channel, or hip hop all channel. It's my blog, and what I do is about everything. It encompasses anything and everything. It could be about music, it could be about lifestyle, it could be about movies, it could be about anything at any moment, because that's how I roll. My brain never stops. I can be thinking about anything at any given time. So I'm not all about going with an algorithm. Like I said on my last video, it's about what I am thinking and what I'm feeling at that moment. Or, you know, geez, what's is it pressing me enough that I need to say something, you know? So that's what it is. But I just wanted to like put that out there, and not want people thinking, oh my God, it's gonna be all about Kendrick, I'm subscribing. No, it's I don't have that in my you know, my description. Oh my God, I'm all Kendrick. No, I'm all hip hop. No, nothing anywhere says that. So just letting everybody know about that. So yeah, I you know, Chromacopia, dope album. I respect Tyler definitely as a you know, music production. I think that he is elite, and I think that I respect that. I respect his artistry a great deal. And I'm my guy. He's listened to Tyler for a long time. I, you know, wasn't a big Tyler listener, so, you know, to kind of like now learning a little more about him, his artistry is incredible, and he looks so much like my nephew. It's scary when he kind of creeps me out. He looks way too much like my nephew. Way too much like my nephew. It's creepy. Which, by the way, my trivia, my nephew was actually in Kendrick's Super Bowl ad that he had posted on his it on his IG, on his stories, and it was these guys are wearing like football wear, and he was like the one lone black dude that was there. That's my nephew. If you know, you know. You find it, you'll find it. You'll see it. But that's my nephew. And then if you see him, you'll understand why I'm like, Tyler creeps me out, because he looks so much like my nephew. But anyway, moving on. So yeah, GNX, super dope album, really regional. And I'm a music fan. Doesn't matter I'm from New York. Okay, that please. Okay, I totally respect what Kendrick did. I learned a hell of a lot more, even more, of the sonics of West Coast music. Even already understood and knew of West Coast music. So it wasn't like an anomaly for me. I understood the sonics, but he gave me even more of an ear. And I love that. That learning. And if you are, again, I love when these people love to sit there and be like, oh man, I love music, da da da. And then they're like, but then when they hear something like a Kendrick album and they're like, oh, I couldn't rock with that. It's like, yeah, because you're not a music fan. You are a regional fan. There's a difference. And, Kendrick, and then on top of that, how Kendrick, raps and what he's rapping about, he's not linear. So top that with very, very thought out pieces, production pieces. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to understand it. So yeah, he's not Snoop Dogg, he's Kendrick. Okay? And that's what makes it funny. I'm gonna, and then you got the Clipse, and Clipse album, absolutely incredible album. So all three of those albums I have played non-stop. Clipse album is, again, one of the greatest albums of all time too. Truly a beautiful album. Up and down, beautiful album. And they should be super proud of that. Super proud. Here's the thing, though. I find this quite interesting because, a lot of people were like, when I say a lot of people, not just fans and whatnot, I'm talking about content creators, podcasters, or whatever. They're sitting there like, I want the Clipse to win, da 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 da, right? But I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure Clipse would like to win, but they didn't have to put out the album this year competing with Kendrick. They could have put it out later. They could have waited. But unless there's something they already know, right? Unless they know, one, that maybe Kendrick was already going to be releasing something in 2026, maybe. We already now know that Cole has just dropped an album. We may or may not know that he may submit Fall Off for Grammy consideration. Hell, he submitted Might Delete Later for, I Might Delete Later is not a horrible album, so I'm not trying to diss. I'm definitely not trying to diss Might Delete Later, not at all. But he did submit that. But Baby Keem's album's soon about to come out in 6 days? Let's see. We got ASAP Rocky. He came out with an album. So we have all these releases. and apparently Iceman's supposed to come out. We'll see. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, all these releases are coming out. And they could have waited if they wanted to. They chose not to. They chose to release it when they released it. That's on them. And they may know through the grapevine, like, hey, there's going to be lots of releases coming out. Hip hop is back. And, it's going to be competition now. You can't afford to just, released when, this is not when hip hop is dead. And the thing is, what's crazy is if Kendrick didn't do what he did, guess what? Who would have received that album the way they did? Would it have been received the same way? We don't know. We truly don't know. We truly don't know. Because people weren't taking hip hop that seriously. People really weren't. And people would be lying if they did. So that's my thought on that. And JID, I feel like, I like him. That man is a force. And there are certain songs in his album that I liked. I hope that he works with, works with producers that get him, that understands that he is a very technical lyricist, and that, some hip hop artists have a struggle with finding how to be their own melody makers and their own it's like I feel like rappers they have to be everything in their own song. It's not like other genres. They literally have to be everything in their songs. They have to be their harmonies, they have to be the melody, they have to be everything. And on top of being their writers. And when that falters, it's obvious. Kendrick, in my opinion, has mastered all of it. He's mastered it. And I think that's why I do get a little irritated when people shit on him, and I think it's out of envy, because they know that he's mastered that. He can literally do anything. He can literally rap on anything and make it sound insanely good. That's how incredible he is. And I feel like that is why he is who he is and he's where he is. So I feel like he needs to find that producer I think he himself needs to work on maybe a little something where, and maybe that's where that producer or producers come in, that can kind of like work with him in knowing where he can kind of like, if the beat or whatever he's working with that person with, like he knows how to navigate, how he wants to flow, how he wants to make something just bounce with how technical he is, and make it memorable and not get it, stuck in the wash. Because he has these songs where, especially when he works with Eminem, where it's so memorable, and then there's certain songs where he's just like, it gets lost. And it's not so much on him, it's more like whatever production he picks. It's kind of hard to explain it. I just feel like I'm waiting for him to find that pocket, and I think it'll come. I think it will come. I believe it will. I think it will. He's still young, man. He's still young. So, there's that. But I don't want him being disappointed that he didn't win. Like, come on. And people were kind of ragging on him for his face and whatnot, and and I'll kind of touch on that with other things later. Glorilla, same thing. It was not. I couldn't see her winning it. Not to say that her album was, horrible or anything like that, but compared to what she was up against, it wasn't going to happen. Or at least I don't think it would have happened. Unless you or somebody who's just a super fan of hers, when it comes to the sonics of everything else, I didn't see it standing up with everything else. So, there's that. Kendrick is one of the few and I will stress this, very few artists that deserve every win he's received. Every win. And I am very much kind of pricky on people who have won. Because there's some people who truly don't deserve to win, even people I like. Because again, I'm objective. I'm extremely objective. I don't care if I like you. I don't care if I'm one of your biggest fans. I call it as I see it, because I actually listen to the music. I actually listen to the music, and I'll sit there. I'm like, yeah, no, this person deserved it because of all the categories that I listen to. Like, yeah, this song was X, Y, and Z. Sorry, not sorry. And I feel like that's the problem with everyone else. A lot of people, they don't necessarily, you know, listen to the albums. I mean, obviously not. They pick who they like because that's who they listen to. That's why I find it hilarious when, people lose their minds and get angry, because I'm like, I get it to a point. I'm like, but did you even listen to any of these rest of these people? No, a lot of people don't. So, like, stop. And I get it. In some ways, I can understand why, a fan will get upset. But I have to say, one of the things that really got to me and really angered me a lot was the overcrying of whether you are a hip hop artist or a podcaster, podcaster, or hell, even some of these fans. But the hip hop fans. So I'm all talking about all hip hop here. Hip hop podcaster, hip hop content creator, and a lot of the hip hop fans crying, damn near crying, over who won and who didn't win, and quoting stupid ass Drake. It was so ridiculous. It was so childish. It I've never it's damn near every year too. It's like hip hop is probably one of the only categories that cries the most when it comes to losing. And it doesn't matter who. It truly doesn't. Kendrick could probably be not nominated at all, and somebody crying. Somebody is crying, and it's truly the saddest thing. And I'm like, for a genre that's supposed to be tough, right? It's supposed to be all about the street, where it's all about us coming from a struggle and all this stuff. We're some of the toughest, people, right? Why is it that we cry off of the most ridiculous shit? Like, why are we crying about it? What is the tears for? That is lame as fuck to me. I'm sitting there like, does GNX really deserve that Grammy? Was GNX really rap album of the year? Like, huh? You have a whole think piece on and again, you're right to saying and feeling how you feel. You have the right. But the constant complaining is so depressing. It's so depressing. And it's crazy because I often think to myself, my God, if we had our own Grammys, right? Which, by the way, that should have been happened. Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that. We should have been had our own Grammys, because then we wouldn't be competing with others. And I feel like even still, we'd still be bitching, because it's like, what the fuck are you crying about? He didn't win. Like, it's so, like, somebody's gonna lose, y'all. Like, somebody's gonna lose. Somebody's gonna be disappointed. It's just how it is. And I even, when I watched the Grammys, I was like, even with the album of the year, I told my guy, I said, album of the year, everybody's gonna be disappointed, or those who were talking about album of the year, saying, oh, Kendrick should get album of the year, and Clip should get rap album of the year, or whatever, or oh, it should be Kendrick for both because it would make sense if he gets rap album of the year and not album of the year, or if he gets album of the year but not rap album of the year because X, Y, and Z. But there's actually an explanation for all of that too. So blah blah blah. Anyway, I was like, it's gonna be an upset because the votes are gonna be split. It's simple. Like, it's math. It's very easy math. It's going to be split because there are going to be people who are going to want certain ones to win, certain albums to win. But lo and behold, what was very interesting, or at least what they said when they put out the statistics, the votes, from what I saw, was that Kendrick was like 1% away from winning. So I don't know. Some would say, hey, he was about to go to the Super Bowl, so let's just give him this this Grammy, like, this is a statement. And that could be the case. I will not say that's not a possibility. But I just didn't like the whole, like, attitude of I just don't like the crying of oh my God, like, I didn't win. If it's not the rappers sitting there not getting what they want, or whatever, I didn't win. Wham, wham, wham. Lil Wayne and his belly aching. That, this man had the audacity to post what he posted. And I'm just like, man, you got all these podcasters, and I'm not naming names, but it's like, and content creators sitting there and damn near just bitchy about who should have won, or they're trying to be careful because they don't want to come off a certain way. And it's like, this is so pathetic. Like, great hip hop won. How about that? Really great hip hop won. We didn't see any losers. Because I'll tell you what, GNX didn't win. I would have been happy. I would have been very happy to see any of those nominees win. That's the crazy part about it. I would have been very happy about that. And Glow, but I would have been very, very, very happy because we got real. I'll take back Glow. I'll take that back because it was decent. I'm not gonna shit on her like that. It's just I think the next time it'll be different for her. Her time, I think she'll have something more. Her time is gonna come. It's gonna be bigger because hip hop is back, and I feel like that's what's losing the plot a little bit. Kendrick didn't fight this hard for it to be like, it's all about me. No, it's about hip hop. Hip hop. And it's not about, I need to hate on him. It's about celebrating a man who actually brought this shit back. And we shouldn't be hating. And it's pathetic to see what I'm seeing. And you know what? And this is something I need to point out because, again, all the gangstery motherfuckers who sitting there, they want to talk about how, they're this and they're that. I'm like, and y'all literally there. I'm like, and I have to say this, for the hip hop community, I'm like, you guys, that's soft. That's some soft shit. That's soft. To sit there and be on some like, everywhere I turn or look, I'm like, all y'all do is cry about something. Y'all crying about not winning these awards. And it's like, create your own. I've already seen people say the most foulest shit about the BET Awards. I was like, damn, well, why? And it'd be your own people, man. Because we want to fit in so much into another society. And it's like, nah, we should be having our own shit in the first place. We shouldn't be sitting here trying to fit in. But we sitting here crying over some damn awards. But since we want to stay on that spirit, you know how many people have not been nominated and or didn't win some more awards? You know how many people who have been nominated many times? You know. In fact, before I even go into that, I'm going to give a great example of, just one good example of one of my favorite bands that should not have won a Grammy. And they won for a absolute, one of their worst songs to me ever. And we're against some amazing, and I do mean amazing, songs. Metallica won, right? Back in, and this will be one of the oddest wins ever. So for the album Reload, they won for a song called Better Than You. So trivia, Metallica was my very first band, they were my very first concert that I seen back in '97. And I spoke of this in the Euphoria video. Of course, go check that out. I've spoken about it. But these fools, they I digress. On the Reload album, they come out with this, they were nominated and won a Grammy for a song called Better Than You for Best Metal Performance. Okay? I remember this. And I'm going to tell you right now, the songs that they were up against for that night was pretty heavy. I will say it was pretty damn heavy. It was one of those songs that should have never had won. I'm gonna tell you that it should have never won. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? It's one of the worst damn songs they've ever created. And they have some pretty spectacularly not so great songs. I'm sorry, but they do. They were up against, my opinion, the songs I felt that could have won. Rage Against the Machine, No Shelter. Like, come on. And I implore people, if you are a real music fan like myself, you probably know what I'm talking about when I say Rage Against the Machine, No Shelter. If you don't, go listen to it, because then you may not know the name, but you'll remember the song. If you were alive back then, okay? And Rammstein's Du Hast. I felt either one of those songs should have won, okay? Any one of those songs. I don't know what in the world to this day, I'm like, what were y'all thinking? What was the Grammy? What were they thinking? I was like, that song was awful. And here's what makes that win so strange, was that song was never released as a main, and I'm talking about Metallica's song now. Better Than You was never released as a single. Never. That was never released as a damn single. Ever. It was never mainstream. They never performed that song live. To make it even worse, I'm still trying to figure out why it even was eligible because the album came out in 97. Technically, it would mean it would be eligible in 98 as a Grammy win. So how the hell did it win in 99? I didn't get it. I didn't get that at all. Yeah, it has controversies. I can't. So anyway, that's a perfect example of one song I can tell you right off the bat, hell no. And if you ever heard that, if you were to go listen to it, you'd understand why I personally think that's one of their worst freaking songs ever. Like, it was like personally one of the most laziest songs I've ever heard from a metal band. Like, I truly hate that song, and it takes a lot for me to truly dislike a song, like truly dislike a song, because I could find a slither of light in a song. I don't like that song. So, moving on. But that was one of them, and I just didn't. I never understood why that happened. I just remember sitting like, why did this win? I don't give a fuck if you're my favorite one of my favorite bands in the world. I don't care if you have a sucky song. I don't give a damn. You don't deserve the trophy. That's how I roll. Let's move on. Now, to artists that never won, that never won, never been nominated, or have been nominated and never won. Like, I can name a few, just a few. Some that I listen to, some, like one or two or three people I don't care. Well, I won't say that I don't care for, but one I don't listen to like that. But case in point, and these are people who have been sampled, mentioned, I mean the works, okay? And are legends. Tupac, Bob Marley. Are we for real? Portishead. And if some of y'all don't know who Portishead is, Beth Gibbons was on Mother I Sober. She is the lead singer of Portishead. For those who are Kendrick Lamar fans. The Cardigans, Garbage, Diana Ross, which is crazy. Susie and the Banshees, Little Dragon, Queen, ABBA, King Crimson, Jimi fucking Hendrix. What are we talking about? Bjork, Guns N' Roses, Sam Cooke, Janis Joplin, Public Enemy, Wu-Tang. And we got many more people that have not been nominated and or never won. The crying, I'm gonna wrap this up. The crying of all of just the crying, the bitching, the moaning, for me, I can't stomach that shit. It's not cool. It's weak as fuck. I can't stomach grown ass people bitching all day about awards that, we're supposed to be coming together as a community and kind of having our own by now. Got the Latin Grammys. The Latin Grammys got their own shit. Why don't we have our own? Why are we still trying to fit in? When are we gonna stop that shit? Like, when are we gonna stop, like, needing to be in this space? Because we want to keep crying about that, then then why don't we just create our own? I'm just tired, dude. Like, it is every freaking fucking year, dude. It's every year. And it's like getting louder and louder and louder. And it's like, oh my God, okay, enough. We got to be tougher than that, man. And I think what truly bothers me, specifically with the Kendrick front, the amount of people that have said that man doesn't He's never outside. He's never this. Da 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 da. And it's like, he's outside now, and y'all want to put the genie back in the bottle. It's sick. It's like, I, I'm so tired of it. But yeah, that's why I had to unplug. I can't do what people do. I don't live my life in a universe of sitting around people all day. And mind you, I'm in spaces where, like on Discords and stuff. I'm on that. But I can't do the talking all day about the same topic over and over and over again. I can't fucking do it. My brain wanders. I need to talk about this stuff, man. I can't talk about celebrity shit all day. I like actually talking about things. I like talking about other stuff. Celebrity fucking worship, celebrity this and that. That becomes a little bit much after a while. I'm using my back scratcher right now. Because this is how much the shit just gnaws at me, dude. I'm so, this stuff just bugs me. Oh, I feel good. I can't do it. That's why I'm like soon, I'm kind of like going to be pivoting from all this, like, this stuff, talking about the messiness of all of this stuff. I'm still going to do my deep dives when it's needed, when I have something to say, because I'm not going to just, like I said, I'm not going to just say things to say it. That's not my gig. Or just make up stuff just because. When I have something to say, I say it. I don't have anything to say, I'm not saying anything. So that's how I roll. But yeah, that's all for today. I really just had to say what I had to say about the Grammys, and can we just do better? Can we stop complaining about every things that we have this 2026, man. Like, we got too much, again, like I said in my last video, we have way too much stuff going on. Like, I think people feel like this is the break that we need. It's not. It's actually more stress inducing, because then it'll be this, I've actually seen people be stressed out about something that they're not supposed to be stressed out about, which is wild. Like, you can be in one place saying one thing, like, oh, this is a break from the real world, and then be in the next breath saying, oh, I'm so tired of hearing about X, Y, and Z. And it's like, that's interesting. Be the same username and all, the same profile name or whatever. And it's like, damn, that's sad. But it's not an anomaly, It's not an anomaly. Because when you frequent the same spaces and the same places, I mean, those things happen. So, anywho, like, comment, subscribe, share. I just want everybody to find peace, man. Find peace. That's all we have. That's all we can try to have. Stop worrying about the small stuff, because at the end of the day, man, these celebrities, let them worry about all that shit. Why are we worried about it? When it's really egregious, then it will make sense. This wasn't egregious. I could tell you what. Oh, before I go, 2024, that was the year of kaliuchis for me. And I'm bringing her up because eventually I am going to talk about her album that she did. That woman brought out two of the greatest albums back to back. In fact, she's brought out 3 back-to-back classics. And she does not get enough. She does not get enough recognition. That woman is a freaking I can't wait till I get into my reviews, my album reviews. That is coming eventually. But 2024, absolutely incredible. Then she comes out with another album in 2025, absolutely incredible. Two albums I listened to back to back. If you know, you know. I'm gone, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, share. This is Welchless Thinking. I'm Welch Concannon, and peace out, y'all.